Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Julie of the Jewel Design, and we are back with another week. Oh, we are, what are we, Tuesday again. Okay. Oh my gosh. So good morning, happy Tuesday, welcome all my subscribers, new, old, and visiting. If you haven't decided, came across me by accident due to a tag or a description, I thank you so much for stopping and watching. Hi, so my name is Julie, I'm a Jewel Design. And today we are revealing a new digital kit. This would be the second part to the Spring Bunny that we did last week, when I had one big old kit that was just this cluster of options, and we realized it was too much and a little too eclectic. Though they all go really well together, but we felt like you needed the opportunity to either buy it all because you just had to have it, or no, I really just love the bunnies and the light colors, or I just like all the bright watercolor flowers, or I just want the collage pages. So today I am showing you the second full journal kit that came out of the cluster that I made last week. So you had bunnies last week with the pretty collage pages and just sort of that botanical light green springy feel. And this week we're going over the WaterColor spring bouquets kit that I decided to make out of that. So we have our papers, we have our ephemera, as we always do. It's about a 20-page kit. It's a little on the smaller side, but when added to the bunny kit, added to any of my spring items, you know, if you wanted brighter colors, you could pick up last year's spring bunny journal kit, which has, you know, all these great brighter colors, a lot of spring, a lot of Easter and bunnies in it, and you could add more floral to it. You could add this to the summer kit, which was also in watercolors. I did a summer floral kit, which had another variety of watercolor florals. So this is definitely something that I think could move in and out with, and you wouldn't be stuck with just this. Or if you want a smaller kit, keep it simple, keep it right to, you know, the point, this would be a great kit. And what came of that even, really quick, I'm going to show you the quick 8-page collage. This is what started the whole thing. I wanted to cluster new pieces and old pieces, and I wanted to lay bunnies and florals and botanicals all over it. And it got it got away from me. The whole thing just went berserk, and I actually enjoyed this more than this. And I tried to keep putting this on top of this, and it just didn't work. It was too much. So we got the bunny kit, which has the collage and all the pretty floral, you know, the botanical florals and the bunnies and the critters on it. And then today you get the vintage Paperie collage papers. So there's 8 pages of collaged elements layered on top of each other, giving you something to add into that, to back with. You could cut it up and collage even more on top of it. Just something basic. Every so often I do a cluster of collage pages. And since I don't cut and actually, you know, collage it myself. I tried that once. We did try to do collage it, and I had a hard time scanning it because I made the roll too big. I took photos of it. It's a little dark. It prints okay, but it wasn't my best attempt at trying to, like, make something and scan it in. So I like to do it digitally. Love doing it digitally. So here's page 1 of our first collages. And then I took it and then added new layers, right? So we added the stripes. We added some florals. So you get a combination of flat out straight, here you go, collage, and then we sort of, you know, blend and mold other pieces, other textures into it. So you get sort of a 2-part variety of each one of these clusters, where I make things sort of stand on top and other things hidden below, and just another blend that makes great for just inserting pages, whether you put a belly band or a pocket on it, whether you just use it as a sort of a filler piece, and you back it, or put this on your favorite cream paper, put it on your favorite tea dyed or coffee dyed if you need to grunge it up. And it's a great insert to break up maybe all the brightness or all the whiteness. Page 3, again, one of my favorites, where we have more, you know, sort of more of a pattern paper behind it, some polka dots across it. Again, another really good cluster of images. I just had a lot of fun layering them. Now, you saw this one in the Spring Bunny. This was one of our pieces that we did keep in the Spring Bunny kit. Because we really loved just how the coloring went with it, but I had to have you had to have it in this piece. But to, of course, make it a little less, you know, fun, we did add more layers to it. Went ahead and added some of the lace and the pieces from that bunny kit into this one. So a little bit from the bunny kit, and then we do have itty bitty bits of the new kit sort of overlaid in here also. But it's light, where it can go either way. But I love the color combo and how it washes through, and how we're picking up bits and pieces of those clustered papers through all the texture. It's probably one of my favorite clusters. Again, this paper and this paper here was in the bunny kit, and we have the stripes again. That was sort of fun where it laid out and then just layered everything on top of it. So when you go down the middle, you know, you have a nice cluster here and you have a nice cluster here on front and back of each page. But something about the creams and the greens right now really spoke to me for spring and summer, and that sort of interesting sort of tealy color, the muted teal, really spoke to me. So some of these pieces did show up in ways in the other kit. It's what got started, so we just added to it and, you know, sort of umphed this little paper kit. And then this is the last one where we have another set of texture over and having just certain things sort of pop out where you could see the, you know, the stamps and you can see the inserts. So it's a really simple little kit. It is a vintage papery collage kit. 8 little pages just to give you something to fill in with. You need something different. I have in other variations. I have a basic background collage pages 1 and 2. I did one purple collage background kit. Sort of the same concept where I had the clusters of pages, and I did a couple of pages that give you some purple elements. So there's a number in my journal paper kit, or journal paper section. There are things like this where it's just clustered in collages and groupings of papers. When you need something besides Eco Dyed, you need something besides the decorative pieces. Here's a great kit that will go with a number of things. I could see this sort of blending in with the garden stroll. You can do this with my summer welcome, my summer florals. I mean, there's a number of things that I have going on right now. This would definitely go into. Now, if you saw me last week, hopefully at the end you caught the fact that I have that's not rushed the seasons yet. I do have a spring sale going on right now. Last week in ode to my birthday, and then just spring in general. We're going into this week, so you have a few more days up through Friday to get 15% off the new kits and anything I felt was spring. So anything that says the word spring in my, of course, in my titles is 15% off. Anything I felt went with it, but didn't quite have the spring word in it, I try to catch on it. If you go looking through my shop and you go look on it and it's not for sale and you feel it's springy, hey, DM me, send me a message and let me know, and we can make that decision. And I could try to, of course, honor, that 15% sale for you, or at least refund you that 15% if we feel that some of the items you bought are more springy than I realized, but I was debating. So hey, reach out to me, let me know. I'm willing to always honor something. If you feel it's springy and I just couldn't, maybe I felt the same thing and I wasn't sure. So, but there's like 16 items right now that are on sale, and these 2 will be added, so it'll be 18. And so that the new kits that are out are on sale, and then anything springy. So there you go. You got a little hit, and I'll remind you again at the end of the video in case you missed this part. But like I said, this is the vintage Paperie collage paper set. So that's up. It's a great addition to the spring bunny kit, and I think it's a great one to add a little bit more of the blue and greens to this kit. Now this is the WaterColor spring bouquet. The way it's spelled does not work for me. I always want to spell it differently, but I did floral bouquets, and they're watercolor imagery. They're all very springy, and they're clusters. This whole kit is about clusters and bouquets of florals for spring. And so I loved it. I loved the butterflies that went to it. And so we did change up where we used the lace and the texture and all that behind this instead of the clusters. So instead of doing all this, collage behind it, which was really, I was having a hard time because the collage seemed so sort of muted and light and cozy in a way. And this was just so bright. And that was my biggest problem. I felt like I had 2 different kits when we were first creating this. And we were like, okay, well, let's just separate it. Let's make this one kit and this another, and we'll enjoy all the collages and the bunnies, and we'll enjoy the collage pages, but then let's give these bouquets their own, let's, make sure that they feel special and that they are the centerpiece, and we can just sort of mute out the background so it's not so much competition, which then the butterflies and the flowers and everything else can really stick out. So there's 29 pages, so you have about 6 decorative and 3 background papers to back these with and work with. First one of the background pages is this, where I had a combination of the texture, the lace. I did a repetitive pattern paper of clusters just to do this, and the polka dots. So I sort of did, you know, a layering effect and gave you a really sort of brighter background, but still capable to put all your pockets and your envelopes and your belly bands and whatever you want on this. And you have some, you know, but you still have some it's not just beige, which I thought was really great to back with such a bright, lovely page. Now this is a big page, and you go down the middle, you get flowers on both sides, you get butterflies on both sides. It can, you know, we can trim it out like we did the big bunny. You could cut it however you see fit and use it. I could see, as much as I hate to lose the bunnies, I could actually see cutting this out and layering it over a different type of cover for your front. And then you can just cut out the butterflies and, you know, glue them back on in a different spot. But it is a great, or it's a good centerpiece. It is a great centerpiece for your signatures, because you can open it up and you have, you know, this gorgeous thing right in the middle of your journal, with that on the other side where you have a pocket or a belly band. I mean, it's a great way to get to the middle of your book. So, one of my favorites. Then our glass vases that were in the bunny kit that we just had a hint of, I got to really play with on this one. And I love the bouquet on here. You know, I love how we get to see more of the lace this time instead of the background, the cream background. And then I sort of changed its effect and made it sort of light and airy back here. I know it's upside down, but that's the fun part of being an artist. I get to see things differently. And when you go down the middle, this one I think would be great to have a corner pocket here and tuck some stuff into where you can still utilize this page. You could even put a little like notebook here on the bottom. You could glue down a little notebook and you don't feel like you're covering anything up. And it's just a really fun sort of artistic view. But this one by itself is absolutely gorgeous. Great for a front cover even. I could see, or the inside, you know, your first page of your signature. I just love how that clustered together, all the bright colors. This one does have just a standard cream colored lace overlay. This one is just sort of a textured paper. This one's a texture over the lace. So you get, you know, you get the texture, you get the grungy feel, but gives you plenty of room to add pops of color to it. And then I sort of did my wraparound sort of border where I had the flowers on the side. You get some really simple color in the middle to write on if you want. If you feel capable, put a little notebook or piece of paper here to write on, a little hide-a-hole. You could layer over this. But we have our vases again and our jars. We have our flowers. We just have a nice collage of everything right here. And almost goes all the way around. But again, when you fold it down the middle, you've got your green and your flowers and your vases on this side and the same thing on this one. And really, it could go either way. This one is so, you know, non-directional. I mean, maybe the flowers you can tell look a little bit upside down, but the way it's balanced, you really could turn it either way and not stress over and worry. Now this one then again I have a couple like where it's cream, where I have a couple that are in that tealy background. I really did love the tealy green behind these. It just wasn't great when it's collaged. So the lace was a much better repetitive with some breakups with the creams and the paint splotches and stuff like that. It really worked nicely. Again, we have two clusters, a bigger one, of course, on the right, as you know, when you fold it, a little lighter on the left, where you have room if these guys aren't your thing. Again, pockets, anything can go over the bottom. Here was just sort of something to corner with. But again, more bouquets of florals, you know, adding new colors and just keeping the variety going. We go back to our more textured paper, and we have a stamped lace border, top and bottom. We have, you know, again, another bouquet sitting in a gorgeous little like canvas burlap cluster ball there. We have our butterflies. We have all the, you know, we have a little caterpillar in there, and then it's sort of light in the area over here for the left side, so that when you have something going on here, you can write up here. You can put a little notepad up here. You know, you can get crafty, and even if you went down the middle and you put a belly band here to tuck something into, you wouldn't overly like cover this up, or it's a nice little, oh look, I pulled the card out, look what's underneath it. Isn't it pretty? And this one, I put your third background paper on, which is that cluster of texture, lace, splotchy sort of paint marks on it. And so we have that on the back. So that's your third of your background pages. There's that one, okay. And then your last of your 6 decorative pages is the larger clusters. And so you have butterflies everywhere, you have florals popping up, and then you have these bouquets again. And really, when you fold it down the middle, you have either a large one on one side and you have little ones on the other. And again, it can really go either way because I made sure they were upside down and flipped around. So you may decide that you want the two bouquets on the right, the big one on the left, vice versa. I try to make sure the butterflies went both ways. I tried to make sure you guys could do this where it didn't have to be stuck one side or the other. And that one, because it is also very bright, like the first page, I put the brighter pops of color background on this one. So that was always fun. I thought they were gorgeous. I really glad I pulled out some of the chaos from the collage papers and just gave you the texture behind them. And it really made these guys showcase on their own. And they're a great pop of color. They really are. And I want to say my summer floral kit would be a great addition to this. If you needed more pages, if you needed more pieces, I'd go look at that again and see how it pans out. I don't even know if I have that printed out. I'll have to look here. If you give me a few minutes at the end, maybe I'll make a quick glance and see if I even have any more of the summer kit to show you. See if I'm on par or not. Now we have 11 pages. Yes, 11 pages of ephemera. Make sure I'm still in. Good. Okay. 11 pages of ephemera. And it's not as heavy as what I normally do. Even though I normally do 12, I felt like I did sort of bigger pieces on this kit to enhance this, to give you new things to play with. You have my stamps. We have our large 4-flap envelope like you saw I did with the bunny kit last time. You know, there are new ways to use this to stack in and put all your fun ephemera in it. You know, use all the fun pieces. No one says you're stuck, you know, just making it a single envelope. You can even open this up and each flap folds something out inside it. So, you know, these four flap envelopes have a lot of purpose or potential. And, you know, because this does fit my journal cards, you can see how big it is. I mean, it's 3 1/4 by 5 inches square. So it has a good umph of space to work with. Now, I backed all of mine with a pink raspberry distress paper that came in the bunny kit. But I do have 2 pinks and a green in my 12-page distressed ink, cornered ink pack. So if you want a variety of these distressed papers and bits of color, you know, the 12 pack is worth going to look at. But I just grabbed the raspberry from the bunny kit and I backed them real quick because I sort of like the pink. I personally liked the pink, you know, highlight on it. Now you could find a teal, cream, whatever, you know, cream, yellow, even the yellow sort of linen background that's in the touch of romance would be great to back on these if you wanted something more springy. Back them with yellow. Now here's my instantly backed journal cards that I do pretty much every other kit at this point. Every other kit. I didn't do it for the bunny one, but I thought this one would be fun for spring to have the bouquets and, you know, have something to write on the back. So you have horizontal ones with a plain background because it is, you know, when you fold it, it's horizontal and you can write in any direction you want. The verticals, I went ahead and gave you green lines on the back. Now, silly me, I didn't think about it and I backed mine. Didn't need to. I just put the whole kit back through and printed pink, right? I wasn't thinking about it. But that does give me that. But it does open for me the possibility if I decide I don't need 4 instantly backed journal cards, I could cut this one up. I have this. I got the pink on the back already, and one side or the other, I could totally like layer up all the fun ephemera and fussy cuts on, say, the pink side, and leave the cream to write on if I wanted to do something separate. Or this one's by itself already to go, and the pink's on it. So the nice thing is you can cut these into 4 separate pieces and use this as a blank canvas to decorate with all the fussy cuts that I give you. Or the belly bands or pockets, or, you know, you can use these as bases. So backing it is not always a bad thing, but if you know for sure you're using it as an instantly backed journal card, don't back. Don't waste the ink. Try to remember to pull them from your stack before you print on them. Because that's the whole point, so you didn't have to run them back through. But I love having these as options, and, you know, I think we're going to be coming out with an instantly backed, like, ephemera kit here soon. I did do a chunk of journal cards not too long ago, probably in January, that were all botanical, right? I had new sizes, smaller ones, really itty-bitty ones, and then my usual size. And I did a whole botanical set. And I just found this page the other day. I was like, oh, okay. So I did do a journal card instantly back set. So I'm thinking about doing some other things, new shapes and things, to make it easier for those of you who just want to print once and not have to worry about inking or stenciling or whatever on the back. So save up a little bit on the ink and the paper count, especially if you have an instantly, like an HP Instant ink cart. Every time it runs through, it's considered a page. So we want to keep that page count down. I went ahead and did the more square 6x6 this time around. We have verticals, which is nice. This one can be horizontal or vertical, but those are definitely horizontal layouts. I love this new group that you guys got. Last time we had more the botanicals sticking out of them. This time it's just sort of some leaves layered in a different direction. So that was a really cool cluster that came out of all of this. So there we go. We've got them bordered. We have them, fuzzy around the edges, and you can cut them all the way out or keep it short or go even farther in. So you do have some playroom to decide how big these are and where you want to cut them. So that's always fun. You can always try to rip around, especially when we have the color, you try to use the deckled edge cutter, and you could have some really fun, edges to these borders. You could take off that, sort of distressed edge and have some fun with it and re-ink it. Then I decided to do the taller pocket tag on this one and give you, the different layers. We have this gray tag that sort of blends into the background, but that's okay. It's sort of like a secret hole. You put a punch in it and you put some lace on it and you'll totally see it. And you can pull it out behind this gorgeous collage of flowers and vases. So we did one of the tags, the pocketed tag, and then I do give you a second tag. Again, sort of the light colors. I don't know what, but this one you definitely will see this pop up more. If you decide you like this one better, this in the green will pop up a little bit more, and you'll see it a little bit better than, say, just this. But see, this I could see putting a big old, like, lacy tassel on it, and you would totally see it. So you get another long scallop tag. You get a double tag set where you can cut them in half, or you can fold them and use them as a journaling space. Of course, a large tag, a ticket, and some of these 1-inch coins that are great for doing the whole dangles off. Go check out Lorette Chandler on YouTube. I know she got it from someone else, but I can't remember who. Could be Roxy or Tracy Fox. I don't know if she's probably the same person. Tracy Fox and Roxy Creations are probably the same one. But one of those ladies do the whole clear coat dangle items out of these 1-inch, and they're really pretty. So these are great things to use that for. Otherwise, they're just great little things to tuck behind things for layering. Put a word off the edge of it, put another card behind it, and you start getting that wonderful layer effect. Then I decided to go ahead and give you guys the, 6.5, 7-inch double pocket tag, the larger one, where this is the faux flip down. You put it across the top of here. You put this pocket here. I made sure everything lined up to where you didn't really cover this. That's why it's sort of faded to the top. So you can put this lovely texture across here. You just glue up the top edges, leave the bottom loose so you can tuck something in. Again, this little guy goes down here as a pocket, and you can put these cute little ephemera right inside. So I did give you a little postcard. I gave you a little, what is that? It's like a, see, master right. It's like get 20 of something. Looks like something you would stamp or cut out, like little hole punches kind of ticket, and another coin. So these are fun, another fun piece that on something like this, or even on the back of one of the, like I could see this pocket being really pretty on the back of one of these pages here. So, or just make it a fun standalone piece all by itself and give it away. This kit definitely has a little bit more pieces where you could decorate and give them away and not so much have to put them in the journal. But, keeps for a light kit. So you have your cornered pocket, square cornered pocket here, a long flag, a couple more stamps, a smaller mini one, right? So if you wanted to put all these, some of the stamps in there, some of the smaller pieces, you could make this more of a little ephemera fussy cut envelope holder, or you just glue it down and stuff it and pop it into a bigger pocket. I could see this sort of being cute tucked into that. So fun elements to do. And then I gave you guys, instead of more of a bouquet, but it's more of a garland or a banner of florals. And this is where I could see cutting in pieces and even fussy cutting it. And we were talking about the back of the journal cards by accident, okay, well, I decided I didn't want to do, these as instantly backed. I could see cutting this at a certain point. Let's see how far. Yeah, pretty much, almost from one end to here, the first half fits nicely on here. And if you fussy cutted it and even cut the edge flat, you could decorate this up, make it a tuck on the card, keep adding layers either on this side or the pink side if you really wanted to push the pink. This would be pink on pink, and it'd be really, I think, a lot of fun and a great aspect. Otherwise, it's a great belly band. It's a great edge piece. It has plenty of potential. And then this can be used as a belly band, as one of my larger sort of circular motion belly bands, but it is very long, so you would have to cut it to fit. You just take off the bottom corners if that's what you need to do. Otherwise, it is meant to wrap around like your instantly back journal cards or the 6-up cards. It is a sleeve for your card and tag, so you get a bunch of them put together. You wrap this around it, and you glue it in the back, so you can stuff it as a sleeve to hold your journal cards in place to give away as a Happy Mail or a present, or whatever. So again, another sort of standalone piece. You could even fold it and glue those back flaps, once they're glued together, glue it to your page and then stick everything in it. So it's sort of, instead of having a belly band that's sort of open, at least it sort of wraps around, like we used to do with double-sided, if you don't have double-sided stick tape, we used to always wrap the tape around, right? You'd wrap the tape around your finger, and you would just like, okay, let me just make this little loop, right? I'm going to make this loop here. So I had this, so it's double-sided. Well, you're sort of doing the same thing. You can make these ends match, glue them together, and then glue that backside to your page, and you can just stick all your tags and journal cards and whatever into it. You would just fold it back according to what your biggest piece is, your widest piece, whether it's a tag, my large tag, fold it back to match the journal cards. You want that just, probably you want, from the middle, 2 inches both ways, at 4 inches at most. So everything would slip in there as it got thicker, and you'd have the room. But it's a great journal card sleeve with a number of potentials, I think. So use it as a belly band, use it as a sleeve for a bunch of journal cards, glue it onto the page, tuck things into it. You probably could even add a piece of paper to the bottom and tuck it under if you want to make it a thicker pocket on the page too. So it has potential. We'll have to play with that one day again. I have a number of them and a number of kits, so we'll have to play with that one day and different ways to use it. But I just love the sort of effect and feel. And it always has the same background here, because that becomes my signature piece, just like my coins usually have the exact same background to them, because those are my coins. That's my cluster and my creation of backgrounds that I layered like 4 layers to make those coins. It's crazy. Not including, of course, what's being showcased. So anyway, there we go. Some two pieces that we don't do too often, and this has become a new thing. I'm starting to enjoy the garland of flowers. I did it for which one? I think Touch of Romance. There was the roses, and having a garland of roses on the Touch of Romance. That one, or Touch of Romance, because Blue Victorian doesn't have that many. So the garland of flowers is becoming a new favorite of mine too. And then of course you have your fussy cuts. So all the lovely bouquets that we did. Of course, you have smaller sections of the garland, just the first half. You have your different clusters of bottles, and then we have the fussy cuts, we have the bouquets of the items, and that was my biggest thing, was the idea that they were bouquets of flowers. So I didn't give them to you individually. If you need more individuals, the problem is some of these are, like I have these 3 roses, or 2 roses, the 3 roses are in the bunny kit. If you happen to have the bunny kit, there are a few of the roses by themselves. But I pretty much just emphasized the bouquets that I put together, the creations that I created with the layering and the elements, because these all come individually to me. So I go ahead and go, okay, well, I saw the idea of this, but regrouped it to the coloring that I needed. So, but even like the butterflies in there and the caterpillars in there and things like that. Things that I'm adding elements to, layering them, changing the coloring schemes, whatever, that make it mine. So the clustering is definitely my creations. So that's what I gave you guys, is the clusters, the creations, the color changes that I create. So, I purchase their artwork, but then I make something new out of it. So those are your fussy cuts. So that's your 11th page of your ephemera. They give you things to decorate, the pockets and the pages and all those goodies. So, it's a little different. We don't have all the belly bands. We don't have all the pockets this time around. I went for more of the bigger stuff, the journal cards, the tag pockets, the, little things that you could do. After doing the bunny kit, it seemed a little repetitive to do everything all over again. But if I get a lot of responses, if you guys were like, oh, but I really miss the pockets, or I really would love more belly bands, or, let me know. If you'd like a little bit more in this, then maybe I'll put together a spring journal ephemera kit that's separate to emphasize or enhance both kits. Like make it all work together. Maybe I'll pull from the summer kit and I'll pull from all the different kits, and I can sort of enhance maybe a spring to summer, ephemera kit, which I use sometimes. Sometimes we just realize that we need a little more, and so we go ahead and do that. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. These kits are up and running. This came out on Saturday, actually, Saturday night. So you've seen Lorette video these back last week. Hopefully you've seen Gail if her timing came out right. She should have had it up on Sunday or Monday, and now you're showing now I'm talking about it. So hopefully this is like burning a hole in your pocket, in your eye, in your head, going, oh my gosh, I have to go get it. I can only wish, right? I can only hope. I love it. I think it's really pretty. It's really got a good spunk of color. I know that's a little hard sometimes when we're talking journals, and some really like their vintage looks. But hey guys, put it on your cream paper, put it on your coffee dyed. You can grunge it up real easy. You cut off all this white stuff. You can take your inks and sort of wash over it. I mean, there are ways to tone it down if it's too much for you, of course. But we have to have our spring moments when we really get that pop of color when everything is blooming. And so I feel like, we have to represent that here in our journals. I think just as much as when, any other time, we have to have it all. We should have it all. We have the right to have it all. So, I have these pages upside down. But I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I hope that you haven't seen it too much and you're tired of it. But I'm really hoping you'll go take a look and take a peek and see what's going on with the bunny kit, with the watercolor spring kit, with the collage pages. Like I said, there's now 18 items on sale in my Etsy shop at 15% off through this Friday. So don't miss out. Because I don't do more than 10% too often. But as a thank you to all of you, and a happy birthday to those of you in March. And even if your birthday's not in March and it comes in April even, there you go. I've taken care of both of you. Treat yourself early. Give yourself a little birthday treat. Take the 15% off. And like I said, don't be afraid to comment down below here or message me on Etsy if you feel something should have been on that sale and you would like it off. Let me know. You reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to chat with you. I love you all. Thank you so much for joining me, subscribing, liking, commenting, and letting me know that you're there and that I'm continuing to spark a creativity, spark ideas and wonderful projects for you, and that my journals are, my journal kits are speaking to you guys and that are helping you along. So make sure you click on my link below. For these guys, the Etsy shop, and of course below that is a link for all my social media. So you can reach out to me in many ways, see all your sneak peeks, join me over on my Crafters of Jewel Design. We love to see the work that you do, whether it even just has a little bit of my kit in it or the whole projects with my kits. I really don't limit it too much because I do want to see what you're doing, and even if it sparks creativity and you're like, oh, I wish I could have bought that, but I had this. I shot my stash and this gave me a great idea, and look at this wonderful thing that I created, as long as it's not digital. And we want to share those moments with everyone so we all are continue to be inspired. So I hope you guys have a wonderful first full week of April. I can't believe it. Here we go. Hopefully April 1st was not too crazy. My birthday week went well. Got to do a little retail therapy on Saturday, which is always helpful, right? Not too much on the craft side. It was just more personal things, but it was a nice day out where I didn't have to worry about all the things that are going on. So thank you so much for joining me, watching, loving, liking, commenting, and I hope you'll continue to join me every Tuesday and Wednesday this month as we reveal more and more kits, small kits, mini kits, journals, everything that's going on. I've got digital after digital to share with you guys, and hopefully plenty of more moments for inspiration. So thank you for joining me, Jolene at Jewel Design, and I will see you all very soon. Bye-bye.